So you're talking about impact. In terms
Absolutely.
of a biblical point of view, we would look at the word leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw once in a book from Jordan Peterson, and he was talking about the definition of women, and a lot of people were talking about the word being submissive, and
Mm-hmm.
with the original translation of the word, it's helper.
Yeah.
And so being affected by this
Mm-hmm.
world is by being a helper. And then for the man, it would be to step in as your leadership role.
Yeah.
So have you ever struggled with passivity or fear of your calling in terms of that purpose, and maybe how you overcame it? Because
Absolutely.
being a leader, you're saying, is actions. You
Mm-hmm.
must be taking ownership of that space
Yeah.
and impacting. You use the word impact, so impacting others.
Yeah.
How did you overcome it? This passivity or
Absolutely.
fear?
Yeah. And going back to the life of Jesus, uh, and us being image bearers, if Jesus is the God incarnate, which you and I believe that he is, he had this beautiful fluidity of going back and forth between the feminine and the masculine, right? He was fully submitted to God the Father, which is a feminine trait, but he was absolutely not afraid to stand his ground and to give the Pharisees the business, right? So there is this lion and the lamb. And when men feel like they have to be the lion all the time, I'm sorry, the lamb all the time, that's not our natural state. So there's nothing wrong with men being submitted. We just have to be very, very clear. Who am I submitted to? Or what am I submitted to? And when the lion is going to come out, I feel empowered. I feel safe with the lion coming out because I know I'm submitted to God, right? Without that submission, that's when the masculinity can turn into toxicity. Masculinity in and of itself is not toxic, but it can become that if there is not submission. So you asked, have I ever been like uncomfortable with that? Absolutely, because my past is always in the background, right?
Yeah.
These submissive tendencies that were implanted there by the enemy are never going to fully go away. So it's our responsibility as men, I believe, to look at our past and be really aware of where does the enemy like to gnaw at me? Where does the enemy like to attack me? Where does he try to set me up to take me out? It's always going to be in the context of our past, right?
Okay,
Like,
so you view masculinity in terms of how an energy, or in terms of roles, and that would be differing, right? Because to me, I see it in terms of roles,
yep,
where a
yeah,
leader is not necessarily in a feminine position.
mm-hmm,
A leader must serve.
yep,
The When I
mm-hmm,
see it I see it with my military career.